side of this one church town, there's a gold dirt road to a whole lot of nothing. Got a deed to the land, but it ain't my ground. This is God's country. We pray for rain and thank him when it's falling, 'cause it brings a grain and a little bit of money. We put it back in the plate, I guess it's why.
Stealing millions of dollars from his clients as a former attorney between 2011 and 2021. The 55-year-old is already serving life without parole for shooting and killing his wife and youngest son. Murdaugh told the judge that he wanted to be held accountable for stealing from his
Saved by the sound of a pin-found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. We turn the dirt and work until the week's done. We take a break and break bread on Sunday then.
Alex Murdaugh was born on May 27, 1968, to parents Randolph Murdaugh III and Elizabeth Alexander Murdaugh in Low Country, South Carolina. Alex comes from 3 generations of Randolph Murdaughs that served consecutively as circuit solicitor, elected prosecuting attorney for South Carolina's 14th Judicial District between 1920 and 2006. The Murdaugh family is one of South Carolina's most prominent legal families. Alex, coming from a seemingly comfortable life, he decided to follow in these footsteps and become an attorney himself. Alex soon married Margaret Maggie Kennedy Brandsetter. She was born September 15, 1968. They would soon go on to have 2 boys, Richard aka Buster and Paul Murdaugh. 28 years later would be where this seemingly perfect life would be destroyed by the hands of Alex Murdaugh. Alex Murdaugh and other members of the Murdaugh family have been subjects of investigations involving murder, wrongful death, corruption, fraud, witness intimidation, theft, and drug and alcohol-related charges. On February 24, 2019, Paul Murdaugh had been drinking and took friends Morgan, Connor, Miley, Anthony, and Mallory on a nighttime boat ride. However, this night ended tragically.
Headstone reads or what kind of pine wood box I end up in. When it's my time, lay me 6 feet deep in God's country. Sunrise sitting back in the 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy.
Paul Murdaugh was charged with 3 felony counts related to the boating accident that killed Mallory Beach. Alex Murdaugh was involved in a lot of sketchy situations, and on top of that, seemed to have had a drug problem as he was addicted to oxycodone for over 20 years. Curtis Eddie Smith was a supplier for Alex. Alex Murdaugh, addicted to drugs and having a sketchy lifestyle, was also in his own law firm laundering money, several forms of fraud such as wire fraud and bank fraud. The CFO, Gene Seckinger, caught on and had a meeting with other law firm attorneys. They confronted Alex about it on June 7th, 2021.
2021. Right about the end of the month, we had some discussions about Hirschberger. A disbursement came through that he had tried to send his fees to a structured settlement. And the conversation was that he had done it improperly because for...
It would later be discovered that the amount of money that Alex had been stealing from the law firm amounted to $7 million. June 7th was a hard day for Alex Murdaugh. He was already working on the boat case for his son, Paul, and then having Jean approach him about the money that she has found that was stolen. So all of this combined would be the fire that would spark the events later that evening that would end the lives of his wife Maggie and his son Paul. The day of the murders, Maggie had been to a doctor's appointment, she had a foot massage, and she had been at their beach home to let in some workers to do some painting. But Maggie had been at the beach house, it seemed, that week. She and Alex supposedly were living separately due to marital problems. Alex called Maggie to come home. Maggie came home along with her son Paul, and this following timeline of events from that day is according to Alex Murdaugh. Here's what really happened. Alex did go with Paul and Maggie to the kennels. It is true that him and Paul rode the property together via Snapchat story Paul made. They came back to the kennels where Paul was Snapchatting his buddy, sharing him the tale of one of the dogs in the video. You can hear Maggie and Alex in the background discussing an issue with a guinea bird. It was only 5 minutes after that video that Alex shot and killed Paul and Maggie. He killed Paul with a shotgun, once in the chest and once in the head. Alex then came out of the feed room where Paul was and took an AR rifle and shot Maggie in the chest. She turned to run. He shot her 4 more times in the back, and 2 of those shots being in her head. After the murders, Alex left, went to the house, showered, left, went to his mom's, where on the way, he called Maggie's phone to establish an alibi, and then he threw it out of the window on the side of the road. He got to his mom's, stayed 45 minutes, and the housekeeper/nurse noticed him carrying a blue jacket/tarp in his hands. He left his mom's, came back home, where he drove back down to the kennels and called 911 to claim he just found his wife Maggie and son Paul shot to death.
I understand. Yeah. I totally understand. Yeah. So you don't have any problem with it.
So just start at the top, take your time.
Like when I came back here, I mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was.
Sorry.
And I could see his brain on. And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both. Okay. I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them. And, I called 911, pretty much right away. And she was very good. I talked to her. I told her I was going to get off the phone to call some family members. I did that.
Family members did you call him?
I called my brother Randy, and I called my brother John. And I tried to call a little boy, real good friend that's right around the corner from here, but I didn't get him.
Alex was found guilty of the murders and sentenced to the rest of his remaining life in prison. He still faces up to 100 charges just in financial crimes. He is still awaiting trials for that.
Town, there's a gold dirt road to a whole lot of nothing. Got a deed to the land, but it ain't my ground. This is God's country. We pray for rain and thank him when it's falling, 'cause it brings...
There is suspicion surrounding the death of former housekeeper Gloria Satterfield. They will be exhuming her body to try and piece together what really happened. That's it, my pretties. Remember, stay sweet, stay smart, and stay safe. Bye, guys.
For the most part, on his deathbed. I can imagine, I really can't imagine. I know it had to have been quite a bit going through your mind on that day. But amazingly, to have you come and testify that it was just another ordinary day. That my wife and son and I were out just enjoying life. Not credible, not believable. You can convince yourself about it, but obviously you had the inability to convince anyone else about that. So if you made any such arguments as a lawyer, you would lose every case like that. Cases you will never have an opportunity to argue anymore, except perhaps your own as you sit in the Department of Corrections. Anything further? Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments in the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh. I sentence you for a term of the rest of your natural life for the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably loved so much. I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutively.
This is God's country.